Here goes another talk related to mental health. It's been heard so many times that at this point it's just repetitive and prevalent, right? Obviously, we know all about it. Here's when I'll say you're wrong. Not because I know it all, not nearly, but because there is no knowing it all. And I'm not here to spread wisdom about it because all I know is research material, some Instagram stories, and possibly some anecdotes. But why I choose to speak about it in front of you all is because I know the comfort in hearing about it from someone else. Knowing that it is common, that it might as well have a worse side to it, but also hearing the affirmation that this loophole is, after all, escapable. Unproductivity, the most common devil at our doorstep. I'm bored. I wish I had a life outside work. But this is our age to live and enjoy. Some of the dialogues my parents and friends hear about every day. So do yours. Now that's undeniable. The fact that it is basic human nature to complain is inevitable. Therefore, I do not see a point in asking people to stop. Don't stop complaining. Instead, be aware of the fact that you are complaining. Because I do not see a better reminder than this. A reminder that we do not have the things we wish for and we want to do better. We want to get that penthouse, have a walk in closet, couple of fancy cars at least, and live with our dream pet dog. However, coming back to unproductivity, what we are asked to stop doing is unattended complaining. By this term, what I mean is constant complaining without having the will to expunge your problems. Unproductivity can result from one of the two situations. One, being overwhelmed with the workload and not knowing what to begin with. Or two, skipping the one task that you've been overlooking for days now, just because it seems too small to even begin with. This can result from multiple problems, major ones being lack of sleep and lack of motivation. Basically, unproductivity is the result of a cobwebbed mind, which more or less often turns into a loophole, what I call the vicious cycle of unproductivity. Unproductivity can be called a state of cluttered mind. It's where you have so much to do, so much on your mind, everything unplanned, and a cobweb of chaotic thoughts. It is just like trying to untangle twisted earphones. You're trying to straighten the wires, but it's taking too much time and patience. Eventually, you end up tangling the wires even more. An unproductive state of mind works in a similar way. You have so much on your plate that it stresses your mind, and stress acts as a factor of demotivation. In the hurry to do everything at once and get done with the tasks, one ends up not doing any, but just increasing the workload for themselves. Basically, you were busy all day trying to finish your tasks, but you were not productive in completing any. Numerous distractions exist in our day to day lives, which are almost unavoidable. So, it seems almost pointless in asking for people to overcome them. However, there is always a way to work with what we have. But before I get to the possible ways of dealing with unproductivity, I would like to make my audience familiar with what's called the imposter syndrome. For the ones who are unaware of this, imposter syndrome is when one doubts their abilities and is unable to take credit and be proud of the things that they achieve. So, confidence. Confidence, if that is what you lack, the mind goes in inertia mode, thus leading to the vicious cycle I mentioned about. Too often, when we see someone who is busy all day with their work, we think to ourselves, I wish I was that productive. Let me break it to you. Being busy and being productive are not the same. The busiest person can also be the most unproductive person. Being busy is an overwhelming feeling, whereas being productive has a feel good outlook to it. Now that we've jotted down and analyzed the causes and effects of this phase, let's move on to the possible solutions. Possible because they might not always work, or might not work at all in some situations. Nevertheless, I think you can work with what you have. So, first, confidence, the most abstract solution. Confidence is key. Being an ambivert myself, I know it is not easy to ask for confidence. Nevertheless, here I am, giving a TED talk for the second time, trying to raise my confidence level and asking my audience to do the same. Next, refresh and restart. Cut yourself some slack. Be kind to yourself. The only way you can overcome or even avoid such problems is by keeping yourself calm. Say no to things that are unnecessary, whether those are distractions or negative thoughts. And lastly, track and celebrate your process, however small it is. The feeling of accomplishment goes a long way. You're not alone. Don't expect it to be easy, but lock the thought of escape in you. As I mentioned before, it is, after all, an escapable cycle. Work on weakening what we call the vicious cycle of unproductivity. Thank you.